Welcome to the Everyman Tales. I'm so glad that you joined me today. I am Everyman, and I'm going to be your storyteller. And these stories are intended for bedtime, road trips, adventures, family time, and every time in between. They're intended for any age and every mind. Get ready to engage your imagination. Get ready for the Everyman Tales.
The wind was flying past Isaac's face so fast that it was making his eyes water. He had mounted Argo and was flying down the hillside with him. All he knew is that he had to get back to his house as quickly as possible. He had ridden into town at the same breakneck speed that he was flying through the woods with now, but this time he had the antidote safely secured in a knapsack around his shoulder. He just hoped that he could make it home in time. The day had started off just fine, just like every other day. He and his brothers had gone out into the field to work. They had put together a plan that if they got all of their work done early enough, they could go to the swimming hole. Well, when a group of boys, specifically brothers, work hard in a competitive nature, Isaac and his brothers finished their work in short time. And before they knew what they were doing, they were in the swimming hole, diving, jumping, splashing. It was a hot summer afternoon, and they were thankful to have the opportunity to get their work done early so they could go play and relax for the rest of the afternoon. Unfortunately, they didn't know that they were sharing the swimming hole with a nest of water moccasins. Now, if you've never heard of a water moccasin, they are dangerous and very poisonous snakes. Two of Isaac's brothers had been bitten not long after they hit the water. No one knew what to do except Isaac. He knew where the doctor lived. He knew where Dr. Johnson's home was, and he also knew that Dr. Johnson kept a stash of the antidotes for all local snakes that are poisonous in his home for just a situation like this. The question is, would Isaac be able to get to the doctor's house? Was anyone home at Dr. Johnson's house? And would he be able to secure the antidote and get back to his own home in time to save the lives of his two brothers? Fortunately for Isaac, and more fortunately for his brothers, the doctor was home. Isaac had torn in the front door without even knocking, interrupting Dr. Johnson's dinner and his family time. Of course, the doctor knew something was wrong immediately, and he asked Isaac what could he do to help, without even knowing what the problem was. Isaac quickly explained the situation. The doctor ran to his makeshift office, tore open his cupboards, and grabbed the antidote, handed him to Isaac, and said, "This is how you administer." He provided the syringes and everything Isaac needed in order to save his brothers' lives. Isaac ran back to his horse, jumped on, and tore through the woods as fast as he could possibly go. He was halfway home when he realized the time frame necessary for him to administer the antidote and save his brothers' lives, and it would be mere minutes of delay could cost his brothers their lives. He was in the final stretch to his home, flying down the hillside when he saw his father come running out the back door towards Isaac. He was ready to do whatever was necessary to save his sons' lives. Isaac, for the most part, dove off of his horse, landing both feet solidly on the ground, and ran inside the house with his father. He explained to his father what Dr. Johnson had said, how to administer the antidote, how to use the syringes, and exactly where to inject the boys. Isaac's father took the syringes, made sure to do exactly like the doctor had instructed Isaac. He withdrew the antidote into the syringe and quickly plunged it into the fatty tissue of his brother's thigh, injecting it as fast as he possibly could. He did the same for his second brother, and then the entire family could just sit and wait. The doctor said it would be a relatively short amount of time before his brothers would improve. Fortunately, the swelling went down, and they did indeed live. Isaac was so thankful that he had mounted his steed and gone as quickly as he could to get the antidote to the water moccasin venom. He and his father went out to the front porch and sat down for a brief moment, both totally exhausted from the adrenaline rush and the excitement, Isaac more so than his father because of the fast-paced horse race he had engaged in to get the antidote in time. Isaac asked his father what would have happened if he had not made it in time. Isaac's father said, "Son, questions like that have no good answer. because there's no way for us to know what would have happened if. Oftentimes, those kinds of questions just lead us to doubt, frustration, futility, anger, and even disappointment. What we can focus on today, Isaac, is that you acted quickly and decisively, and as a result, your two brothers are alive. That night, as Isaac laid his head on his pillow and thought about what would have happened if, he had to keep reminding himself of his father's words. If can be a very frustrating word, and Isaac was just thankful to hear the deep, slow breathing of his brothers in the room surrounding him, and that he had known where to go, what to do, and how to respond in that kind of a situation. Isaac said a prayer for his brothers, he said a prayer for his father, and then he thanked God for giving him the ability to act quickly when it was needed. He laid his head on the pillow and drifted off into a calm, restful, exhausted, and thankful sleep. You've been listening to the Everyman Tales. Thank you for tuning in. And I just want to remind you that you can listen to the Everyman Tales on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the Podbean app, of course, Amazon Music, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Listen Notes, Podchaser, and Boomplay. That's a lot of opportunities for you to tune in to the Everyman Tales. And keep in mind, the Everyman Tales are intended for bedtime, daytime, road trips, or when you just need a good story. Thank you so much for tuning in today to the Everyman Tales. Until next time, engage your imagination.